Snapshots are touted as the most useful feature in the Helix ecosystem, but there are times when you just want to regain some simplicity in your life. In this video, I show you my 6 Stomp setup on the Pod Go, which may persuade you that you don't need snapshots coming up. Hello and welcome to the video. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Justin and I'm all about worship guitar, helping you sound and play your best for Jesus. If you want to support these videos and my ministry, please consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell notification button, and heading over to my Buy Me a Coffee page after this to download my packages and more. If you've met before, welcome back. Let's begin by talking about some of the drawbacks of snapshots. There are plenty of reasons to love snapshots, especially on the larger units like the Helix that can trigger a plethora of things with one button. But there are also reasons not to like snapshots, and these have to do with the current firmware on the Pod Go. First and foremost, there's this weird behavior of snapshots inverting the color of the on-off state of a foot switch assignment. I'm a hybrid user of Stomp mode and snapshots on the bigger Helix and HX Stomp. What that means is that I assign multiple parameter changes to a foot switch, such as gain up, tone down, volume up on an overdrive pedal in the on state and the reverse in the off state. I then use snapshots to trigger that foot switch on or off, saving a few steps each time I want to have an overdrive on for a particular snapshot. As of today, June 2022, you can still apply this workflow on the Pod Go, but there could be a chance that the foot switch is in the on state even though the color of the foot switch is not highlighted, and vice versa. The foot switch could be in the off state even though it's assigned the color is on. Why does this happen? I don't know, and it's frustrating. There have been times I've been on stage, see that the reverb plus foot switch is not on, but as soon as I play, it's way too thick a reverb, which means reverb plus is actually on. The second reason has to do with what I call simplicity of performance. I get it. Snapshots unlock the ability to completely change your sound, which would otherwise be physically impossible. The Line 6 documentation has an octopus to aptly demonstrate what it would take in the real world. But in the real world, things don't have to be complicated. In the real world, you aren't running back to the amp to change gain and EQ settings, switching 3 or 4 effects on, while changing the tuning on a guitar. All of that can be done instantaneously with the Helix and the Variact, by the way. I recently played at a worship jam session organized by Project Worship, and I brought the Pod Go. It was open mic style, and I didn't know what songs were going to be sung by the worship leaders beforehand. I had a host of effects ready for the gig, a pitch shifter, a tremolo, a wah pedal, all dialed into different snapshots just in case. Do you know how many times I used snapshots that night? 0. All I needed was to toggle the overdrive on or off, use the delay plus button to turn up the delay, mix, and feedback for the .8 sound, and that one time I used the reverb plus button for swells. Effects are, for the most part, specialty items. The core of your electric guitar performance centers around clean overdrive and lead tones, and if you get that right, everything else is an added bonus. Quick side note, if you use Snapshots for turning up wet effects like delay and reverb, be careful if you're coming from a gained up tone. There will be that microsecond of the higher gain tone being processed by the higher levels of delay and reverb. So as much as I love Snapshots, sometimes I don't need that level of complexity. The key is context and assessing your needs. If your musical style is like 12-foot Ninja who needs to change radically different sounds and tunings with the press of a button, go bonkers with Snapshot. But if you're like me and still quite old school with tone, you could save yourself a lot of headache by going with Stomp mode. Here's how to set this up. Go to Global Settings and navigate to Switches Pedals. At the option for Stomp mode, make sure 6 switches is selected. This will remove the up-down switch in Stomp mode, so to access Snapshots, remember to press both the up-down switches simultaneously to see Snapshots. Personally, I reserve 3 slots on the top for parameter changes on blocks that are already on. This could be Gain Plus for more amp or overdrive gain, Delay Plus for a higher delay mix, and Reverb Plus for a higher decay and mix. The bottom 3 slots are for the toggle effect block bypass like an overdrive and any special effects that a song may need. Need to stack effects? The switch location is close enough that you can hit 2 buttons at once in both the horizontal and vertical directions. If you like what you're hearing, today's patch is going to be an update in the Pod Go Worship Essentials pack in a new folder called Stomp Mode. Patches like this where you don't need snapshots for different effect combinations. Instead, snapshots are programmed to change the tempo of the different songs in your list. To set this up, make sure that in Global Settings, navigate to MIDI Tempo and make sure Tempo Select is on Snapshot. Which brings us to today's question of the day. Do you use snapshots on your Line 6 device? Any horror stories or funny situations you've encountered with them? I'd love to hear your stories, ideas, and thoughts in the comment section below. That's it for me. Thanks for watching this video. If you've gotten value out of it, like it and share it with someone whom you know is interested in configuring the Line 6 Pod Go. Until next time, I'm Justin, and I'm all about worship guitar.